Hey everyone. Hi Capricorn. Alright, anyone new to Opal Oracle, welcome. And anyone returning, hi. Now, happy October. The dogs gave me a message. Can you see Zumi's little ear? Basically, in a way, you're being a little protective of something, of someone, okay, of a situation. And I need you to know that you are safe and loved and protected, okay? You don't have to worry so much, okay? Plus, it ain't your job, okay? I know you're a cardinal sign, and kind of want to be in control, right? We're in Libra season. That's another cardinal sign. It's very much about control, like, oh, I want to balance you out. I want to make sure that you're balanced so that you can build what I think you should build. Now, if you're doing that for yourself, cool. If you're doing that for someone else, you may not necessarily, I heard, pass the test. Okay? Because you're not necessarily going to get what you want, right? Because what you want is 6 of Wands. Great. Awesome. Overall energy, 10 of Swords in the reverse. We'll take that. Okay? 6 of Cups on the bottom. Sweet. Let's see what you need. Queen of Cups. What's hindering you? Some. 5 of Swords. Yes, like I said, I heard don't bother wasting your time trying to have a conversation and convincing someone else what they're supposed to do. I see that people need to decide for themselves. They're adults, right? If you're dealing with children, that's another situation, but I sense that these are adults. What's helping you? 9 of Swords. Very interesting. Aquarius had a similar energy, okay? You can also learn something from Gemini, okay, during this time. Your outcome, 4 of Pentacles. Just a minute. This really is in your way, okay? But the reason why you're being so strong in your mind about something, like, this is my decision, look at his foot. He's like, this is my decision, end of fucking story is what I heard. Because you don't want this 10 to go in upright, right? So this is about keeping your mind centered. Okay? Because 5 of Swords is about having a conversation where a decision is made and it feels like in a way that no one wins, right? No one dies. No one dies, okay? They're not dying. No one's, it's not really that dramatic. But the thing is like, because I sense this, because we can talk about you and other people all day, but this reading is yours, okay? Again, this 5 of Swords is what is hindering you. This is what's helping you. Let me look at this for a second. I sense that when you go to a dark place in your mind, right, when you start really unlocking whatever is in that shadow world, right? Because you go from the 10 in the reverse overall energy down to the 9 in your what's helping, okay? So there's a truth that needs to be spoken during this month, and in a way it's already been spoken. I heard for the last month. I also heard for the last like 6 months. Right? There's been a conversation. For some of you, it's even 9 months. Like, conversation about something. For some of you, it's about money. But, or value of something, worth of something, right? Like, I see for those of you who are mothers, you need to focus on yourself, okay? Can't be worrying about paying your kids' bills and all that kind of jazz too much. You need to focus on yourself, okay? That's how you get what you want. That's how you succeed. You'll feel more successful because you'll feel more stable in who it is that you are and the decisions that you're making. Okay? I know, especially, it's not that Capricorn has a hard time saying no. I don't think that that's the issue necessarily. But I think that saying no in your head, like finally deciding in here, and then what I'm getting is that your mental thought processy and your physical reactions are different. Okay? There's like something that it's sort of like when you're trying to paint or draw realism, and you're staring at it, right? And you're looking and you're like trying to manipulate or I keep hearing manipulate and manufacture. That's interesting. But it's like you're trying to mimic what it is that you see in front of you. But by the time the information gets from your head down into the physical, onto the paper, there's something that switches. And it's not what you wanted it to be. Okay? And that makes you worry. But I guess with this being what's helping you is whatever deep, heavy thoughts that you're having, however I heard tumultuous it seems, especially when you're alone, worrying about the future, maybe worrying about money, maybe worrying about who's going to win and who's going to lose. Obviously, you don't want anyone to lose, right? You want everyone to win, but that isn't how life goes, right? And you know that. You're the goat that climbs the mountain. You know, the crab isn't going to climb the mountain, but the goat will. So I guess it's all about where you want to go and how you want to get there, and understanding that not everybody has the same goals as you. Like I said in the beginning, if you're trying to convince anyone else to what it is to end their pain or to get to a new place or whatever, it's like I heard you just can't do that. You know, no matter how good your intentions are, that's for other people to figure out in their own time. Okay? That's for other people to figure out in their own time, even if they are related to you. Okay? Blood related, soul related, whatever. I also see, again, because it goes, the way that this looks, it's like it goes from like night, day, all the way to night, all the way inside, but then there's a little bit more light again, okay? So how this Nine of Swords is helping you also is, again, whatever thoughts that you're having that are making you worry or making you sad or making you be like, again, like head in your hands, just, I know that it's not the end of the world, right? Like, I know that it's not I heard the worst thing that it could be, but there is something that you're afraid of going back to, okay? But it's showing you that so that you can unlock something in your psyche that's been put away for a long time, okay? Like something you've been ignoring, a conversation you don't want to have with yourself even. You know, for some of you, this is depression, you know? It's worry, it's anxiety, it's like you feel alone, you feel stuck. But what you want and what you need is this. I see really, Capricorn, what you really need is this. I see that the full moon, there's a new moon on the 8th of October. I don't sense that that's what this card is about. I sense it is about the full moon. Look how bright that is. Okay, we actually just had a full moon yesterday in Aries, okay, which is about who are you? It may be a part of you that's always been a part of you, and maybe even a part of you that, again, I sense is part of the family, right? Somehow, some way. Maybe for some of you, we've actually talked about this before, your dad, right? 10th house rules the father, but it's like, you know, maybe you closed or you're closing some sort of chapter, okay? You're realizing that you have to turn the page. You have to rewrite the story, right? For some of you, you're even going to start a new book, okay? And how exciting is that? Any of you who like to write or draw, you know, when you have like a brand new notebook, it's like blank, right? You don't even know like your very first word, like that's what the story will be. Like, and then it all depends like where you want to write it and with what kind of pen and like what kind of penmanship, and are you going to draw a little doodle, or are you going to write a poem, or are you going to write about the observation of what you see or how you feel, right? So because I'm saying all this, I sense that it may be important and helpful if you have a notebook, maybe even getting a brand new one, okay? If you don't have money for that, well, snag some paper from somebody and fold it in half and staple it, okay? Make a book. Doesn't have to be anything special, okay? There's something, because it's still special either way. There's no not special because you don't spend money on it, okay? But there's something about writing, starting something. Let's start something new. And also, for those of you who are writers, I see that, or like to write, I see that it's important for you to write about what it is that you're going through and what it is that you're closing, what it is that you're opening, okay? And how it makes you feel and what it is that you want in the future, okay? Because we talked about this before. You can be anybody who you want to be, but you can't be who you were before Saturn and Capricorn in your first house. Which in a way is awesome. You know, if you're accepting to it, if you want to fight it, I want to stay who I am, I want to do exactly what I want to do. You know, basically, what this expresses is any of you who have been having a harder time, particularly mentally, like the way you're thinking about it, the communication that you're having with other folks, if it still feels conflictual, if it still feels stuck, if it feels annoying, right? My hand's just like this, it won't go anywhere, it's just like, then that's because you're repeating things that are old, that don't suit you anymore, right? Instead of being like, que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What did we talk about last month? Where do you want to go? And I know a couple of you commented like, I don't have anywhere to go, I'm stuck. Like I feel stuck, right? And I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I want to let you know that you don't have to feel stuck. Okay? And I know it's so easy to be like, just think about it a different way. But really, that's why I think the notebook is important, because I found that even the times in my notebooks where I was having like a real low spot, and I wrote things like, I just wish this was over, like, this is so, whatever. When I went back and I read it, I was actually casting a spell to fix what it was that was troubling me, okay? Because you're subconsciously writing. You're just letting it out. There's no, like, technicality to the way that you can... I was just telling Aquarius, there's no one way to heal yourself. I mean, tarot's just, like, one little component. You know, you still got to take all the steps and do all the things and actually, you know, physically turn the key. I heard maybe for some of you you're moving. Or maybe for some of you you're figuring out, like, you know, maybe you're trying to figure out, you know, how to save money better so that you feel more stable. You know, because sometimes this can be travel too, what you want. Maybe you want to go on a little vacation to the water. You know, go chill somewhere. Feel centered. Just love on you. You know, maybe you go with your homegirls. I don't know. There's just something about independence in this, okay? And I know you want to take care of everybody, okay? I know you do. All cardinal signs want to take care of everybody. But it's not your job. Your job with Saturn and Capricorn, your job during this time is to take care of you, okay? That full moon is in Taurus, the end of the month. 24th, 25th, something like that. You know, Taurus represents, it's the following decan. It's like, what do you possess inside of you that you feel really stable and secure about? Okay? Because when your emotions are stable, when you feel accepting to like what it is and who it is that you are, and you know that wherever it is on your path is successful, that you're actually not like in a country that's being, I mean, for the majority of you, we're not at war right now. You know, we're at war with other countries, but it's not happening like in your neighborhood. Okay? It's, yes, we live in a police state, but no, it's not like slaughter bots yet. So, thank God. But being appreciative of that, okay, like being like, okay, well, what am I going to do with my life now? Because if you're just having these petty arguments with people inside of your own head, it's like that only happens when you don't feel accepting and stable in your own emotions, okay? When you don't trust yourself that, again, wherever it is that you are is absolutely successful, okay? That you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Now, to close this out, hi, Hornet. Venus is in retrograde, okay? I think I mentioned new moon in Libra on the 8th, full moon in Taurus on the 24th, 25th. They're both ruled by Venus, okay? Again, Venus is going retrograde from, I think it's the 5th of October until the January 9th. Don't quote me on that. Do your own research. But the point is that with this retrograde, we're going to be reassessing a lot, okay? And I see that for you specifically, you're going to be reassessing a lot in your mind, okay? Where you're at, what you think about life, how successful it is that where you are, what isn't successful and suiting to who it is that you are and what it is that you want in this life, okay? Not just mentally, not just financially, but like emotionally, you know? What does that mean to you? And understanding that whatever you see as success is not necessarily what someone else deems successful. You know? I see for any of you who have an opportunity to watch children or to be around them, okay? Particularly little kids, because you can learn so much. I love learning from like oh my God, I love like a 4 or 5 year old, 3, 4, 5. They're fascinating. 4 is kind of my favorite. But either way, you can just, especially when it's 2 kids together, it's like, how do they play, right? How do they figure out how to, you know, figure out a situation? Because kids get in arguments all the time, right? Not as much as humans, adults, but, you know, how would a kid solve it? You know, and maybe for some of you that have kids, like, think about that, like, this is how I'd figure it out, right? Well, how does someone else, didn't we talk about this before? The way that someone else heals is not the way that you heal. Okay, we all heal differently. So it's just important to remember that, okay? And take an example from what it is that you see, what's around you. And again, please remember that where it is that you are is successful. Where it is, if you don't ultimately feel like that, and I see in your mind it can go back and forth a little bit, I want you to keep reminding yourself that you are safe and you are loved and you are protected, that you are successful, that you are healing, that you are growing, that you are so grateful for your family, you're so grateful for your ancestors, you're so grateful for your job, you're so grateful for the ability to even be able to feel. Okay, maybe you got some big feelings again. That's just letting you know what's still in there that needs to be assessed, okay? It's a Libra season. You need to balance it out. You're going to have 50% light and 50% shadow. Happy equinox, by the way. You know? And that's okay. You know, in Libra season, you know, they have to do this all year long, their whole lives. Where sometimes it's real heavy on one side, sometimes it's real light on the other side. It's very rare that it's in the center. And even when it is, it feels a little uncomfortable because it feels stagnant. So if you feel a little stagnant, I see that you need to figure out what it is that helps you get out of your head. Okay? What is it? What is it that pushes you forward, that makes you feel centered in yourself? You have to ask yourself, and I can't really give you advice on that because to each your own, right? You have to know that what that is for yourself. Okay, and I know that you'll figure it out because you're ruled by Saturn and you love figuring stuff out, right? You're going to get there, okay? You're going to go through probably a lot of emotions during this time, but I want you to know that you're not alone and you have help, okay? And I heard you can't expedite the process because what you're doing is learning, okay? Love you so much. Anyone who's still here, thank you, thank you, thank you for being a wonderful participant in this channel, putting all this energy and love and inspiration and intelligence. You know, Capricorn's always been a super supporter of this channel, except for the one time that the readings were kind of harsh for 2 months, and I'm sorry. I didn't pick the cards. They just came out like that, you know. But anyway, thank you. It's okay, baby. Stay there. Love you so much.